The Employee Network's been running for about 3 or 4 years. It started quite slowly, organically growing, but I think now we have about a third of our employees have actually voluntarily joined the Wellbeing and Care Network. I think the key thing is really that we run a lot of events, and we also send out a monthly newsletter which has stories about the events, but also human stories about people that we have in the organisation. So, for example, this month we have somebody talking about their bipolar. And sharing a story about that. So it gives like a human voice, which is I think why so many employees have felt the Wellbeing Network itself is very useful. If you always have like a top-down strategy, you're never really capturing what the people want. And I think with well-being, it's about understanding that different people have very different needs. So you can't always predefine or predetermine what those might be. So you can put topics around it, headline topics, but you really need the people to give you a flavour. And I think by having such a big network, we've really found that we've got really useful information from individuals about what they want to be educated on, what sort of activities they're looking for. And it's also helped us by being in a formal network to collaborate with other networks. So we've done a lot of work with the women's group, the LGBT, the veterans group. So it's that sort of collaboration across the networks is good as well. I think a good example of that is probably the mental health first aiders. So we have nearly 100 trained now across the campus. And what we've seen is we actually took the decision to really measure how many conversations we were having. So we've been logging those on an internal and external basis. Now, no names attached to it, but when we went back to the board and explained that we'd had kind of over 300 conversations just in, the first couple of quarters of us running the programme, I think they realised that when they thought there wasn't a need, people actually want to talk to other people. They can share their experiences and help, I think, for that mental health journey. And by also having them across such a wide network across the organisation, you find that people feel that they can talk. So you don't have to talk to somebody in your own department, you can talk to somebody else, but they still understand what it's like to work at our organisation.